My brothers and sisters, the 12 tribes of Israel, scattered all over the globe. Welcome back. This is your Moreh Yeshua Ben Uriah Israel, and we just want to continue to thank you for your likes and your comments and your subscriptions. I just want to give you all the thanks and appreciation for helping us towards our goal. Our goal is to get to 1,000 subscriptions so that we can go live, and going live will give us more time so we can spend more time in these Bible studies. Now, let me say this though, that I do appreciate the opportunity to come to you in these 15-minute sessions. And so, you know, these 15-minute sessions, they go so fast. Sorry. They go so fast. And, you know, before you know it, the time is over. Okay, in the last session, we were in verse 2, Proverbs chapter 4, verse 2, and we were dealing with the word law. We're dealing with the word law. Say, the law comes from the Hebrew word Torah, and we talk a little bit about the fact that the letters in the Hebrew alphabet, the 4 letters that make up this word, this is Tav, Vav, and Resh, and He. And they talk about a precept. They talk about a statute. They talk about so precept, statute, and especially the Decalogue, you know, the 10 Commandments. Right? And they talk about law, word law here. And so we do not want anyone to get sidetracked and go without doing what YAHUAH said. And I didn't mention and spend a great deal of time talking about the fact that I'd rather listen to what YAHUAH said in his word than even the apostle. Okay? Even the apostle. Okay. So whatever he said, YAHUAH said. Okay? We go by what he said and the holy prophets. Okay? I'm serious. And we go with what some of the apostles, as long as they're in line with the word and not deviating from the word. Sometimes in the theological world, they take words and change it and turn it to the way they feel it should go, and not the way that YAHUAH ordained the word to be taught. Okay. Now we're going to look in verse 3. In verse 3, and there's a word there. The word there, it said, the word only. I want to notice there, the word only in verse 3. It comes from the Hebrew word yachid. Yachid. The same word, only, is the same word as a child. You know, as a child. Okay? And this is a very special, because you see, as the writer is writing here, as the writer is writing, I wanted to notice here what he said, because if we're not paying attention, we won't understand directly what he's saying here. Listen to what he said here. Listen what he said. For I was my father's son, tender and only beloved in the sight of my mother. So the word here is very, and I look up the word, and I want to make sure that I was on track based on the meaning and the teaching of this word. So this Hebrew word here is Yaqid. It's like in English it's spelled Yachid, but in the phonetics it is YAWKHEED. So we pronounce it Yaqid, and it's made up of the Hebrew word, right? Yaqid. That's the Hebrew word for the word only there, and is Yod, He, Yod, and Dalet. And the meaning here is united. One, that is, the soul by implication, beloved also only. This word, just a lonely word. It's like you're the only one. It's like you're the only one in the world, okay? So you're special because you're the only one. It says, the life of not to be replaced. This is the kind of emphasis it have on the word only there. Right? It's like you would say your darling. The basic meaning of the word is an only child. In view of John 3:16, where he said, for YAHUAH, our Elohim, so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. One of the problems here with that verse is that they take that verse and they quote it like, hey, the whole Gentile world. Well, of course, because our ancestors had failed to accept YAHUAH, Son, when he came, right? So he give them a chance to be engrafted in. But we got to look at this when he said he loved the world. You talk about the Hebrew people, the last house of the tribes of Israel, or the last tribes of the host of Israel. Back it up. The last tribes of the host of Israel. The last tribe of the host of Israel. Those 10 tribes of the north that was, taken into captivity, and they lost the culture, and they lost their belonging, and the sense of belonging. Okay. YAHUAH so loved them that he gave. And remember what Yeshua said? He said, he came, but only to the lost people of the house of Israel. They're the one that he came to. He said in his word that he came for the lost Israelite people. That's what he said. It's in the scripture. He said it. Those are the people he came for. He came to seek and to save that which was lost, and those were the lost people. That's why he was referred to as the Elohim, or the YAHUAH of Israel. Every other country, every other nation have their own gods, but Israel Israel. We have only one living YAHUAH, or Elohim, the creator of all things. We have him. Okay, so the word comes from the Hebrew word, only came from Yachid, and it is Yod, He, Yod, and Dalet, meaning united soul. By implication, beloved, also lonely, the life of not to be replaced, darling, basic meaning of the word is only child in view of John 3:16, as I said before. And other New Testament passages, there are other New Testament passages, this word is very important to us as Hebrew Israelite people. It's important to us. It said, the preciousness of a unique individual is shown here in Genesis chapter 22, verse 2. Listen what he said. And he said, take now thy son. That's YAHUAH was talking to Abraham in relation to Isaac. He said, take now thy son, thine only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there as a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell thee of. Okay. Look in Genesis chapter 22, verse 12. I hope you have a pen and you're writing these down. And he said, lay not thy hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him, for I know that thou fearest Elohim, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, from me. Praise his name. So you remember in the story here, YAHUAH told Abraham to go to the mount of Moriah, at the land of Moriah, and to one of the mountains. And I wanted to offer your son. YAHUAH doesn't believe in human sacrifices, but here he was trying to see how much our great-grandfather loved him and honored him. And he obeyed, and he went. And there he said, when he got there, you remember the son looked around and he saw all, the wood burn, the fire made up and everything, and, so that here's, where's the sacrifice? What are you going to offer? Where's the lamb? He said, YAHUAH will provide. Of course, the lamb, a ram was caught in the bushes, in the thick, that he offered him instead of his son. But no, that he feared Elohim, seeing that he did not withhold his son. No, he know that. He did not withhold his son. His only son. His only son. So, he did not withhold him. Thine only son. He did not withhold him from me. Praise his name. What obedience. What obedience. My brothers and my sisters, let me say again, this is YAHUAH Ben Uriah Israel. Thank you for your subscription. My time is running out again. And I hope you have gleaned something from this session. And as I said, remember to write these verses down so you can go back and read them for yourselves. Okay? But we're just going to ask you to be a blessing to someone today and walk with the King. Shalom.